My name is Laura, and a few weeks ago, my life flipped upside down in the most ordinary, frustrating way possible. Not with a dramatic accident or a huge argument, but with silence and a calendar that suddenly had no space for me. It all began on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. I was standing in the kitchen, balancing my phone between my shoulder and my ear, trying to stir soup with one hand. My other arm was wrapped in a heavy white cast that ran from my wrist almost to my shoulder. The break had happened 3 weeks earlier when I slipped on wet steps outside our house. It wasn't heroic or interesting. I just fell wrong, heard a crack, and knew instantly that something was very wrong. Since then, everything felt harder. Getting dressed, driving the kids, cooking, cleaning. Even tying my hair felt like a small battle I lost most mornings. My husband, Mark, had been kind at first. The first few days, he made dinner, helped with the kids, and kept saying, "Don't worry, I've got this." But somewhere along the way, that version of Mark quietly disappeared. That Tuesday, Mark came home later than usual. I heard his keys drop into the bowl by the door, followed by the familiar sound of his boots hitting the floor. "Hey," he said casually, leaning into the kitchen. "Just so you know, I'm heading out early Saturday." I paused, spoon hovering over the pot. "Early Saturday? For what?" He shrugged. "I'm going hiking with the guys, all-day thing." Something inside me tightened. "Oh, okay, we didn't talk about that." He frowned slightly. "I thought I mentioned it." "No," I said slowly. "You didn't." He checked his phone, already half distracted. "Well, it's been planned for a bit. I'll be gone most of the day." That was it. No question, no pause, no, "Is that okay?" Just a statement dropped into my already crowded life like an extra weight. I forced a small smile. "All right." But inside, I felt something crack that had nothing to do with my arm. This wasn't the first time. The weekend before, Mark had spent both days out cycling with friends. The weekend before that, it was a long football match followed by drinks. Every time he came home tired but cheerful, full of stories. Meanwhile, I stayed behind. Managing the kids, walking the dogs, trying to run my small cleaning business with one good arm, collapsing into bed at night feeling like I'd run a marathon without moving an inch. And now, another weekend alone. What made it worse was the timing. My arm still hurt. Not sharp pain anymore, but a constant ache that reminded me I wasn't healed. That upcoming weekend, I had been counting on him being home. Not for anything special, just help, support, maybe even a moment to sit down and breathe. We also had a new problem. 2 weeks earlier, Mark had decided to adopt a puppy. A fresh start, he'd said, eyes bright with excitement. "I've always wanted one." I agreed, even though a small voice in my head warned me it might not be the best timing. I ignored it, thinking we'd handle it together. But guess who ended up doing most of the work? Me. With one working arm, I was feeding the puppy, cleaning accidents, and trying to train him between school runs and client calls. Mark loved the dog when he was home. That night, after the kids were asleep, I sat on the couch scrolling through my calendar. Every weekend ahead looked blocked out. Next weekend, hiking. Weekend after that, work training. The one after, something with friends. I felt tears sting my eyes. Not because I wanted to stop him from having fun, but because I felt forgotten. I hadn't had a single day to catch up on my invoices. My work van was still dirty from weeks ago. And rest? That felt like a joke. When Mark came to bed, I tried to talk to him. "Can we talk about the weekends?" I asked quietly. He sighed. "What about them?" "I'm struggling," I said. "I really need some help right now." He rubbed his face. "It's just a phase. Your arm will heal soon." That sentence hurt more than anything else, because it told me he didn't really see how hard things already were. The next morning, after he left for work, I did something I don't usually do. I opened my laptop and went to an online forum where people share their real-life struggles. My fingers hovered over the keyboard for a moment. Then I started typing. I explained everything. The broken arm, the kids, the dogs, the business, the weekends filled with his plans. I ended with one simple question. Am I wrong for feeling upset? I didn't expect much. Maybe a few replies, maybe some tough love. But within minutes, messages started pouring in. "You're not wrong at all." "He needs to step up." "You're doing too much alone." One comment hit especially hard. "You're injured and still carrying everything. That's not partnership." I leaned back in my chair, heart pounding. For the first time in weeks, I felt seen. As I read more responses, something shifted inside me. This wasn't just about a hike or a weekend away. It was about respect, about teamwork, about being there when it actually mattered. That evening, Mark came home cheerful again, talking about a new trail he was excited to try. I listened quietly, my mind racing. I knew a conversation was coming, a real one, and it wasn't going to be easy. Before we get to what happened next, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were carrying everything alone while the person beside you kept walking ahead? If this story is already hitting close to home, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these real stories reach more people who might need them. That night, as I lay awake listening to Mark breathe beside me, I realized something important. Ignoring my feelings had only made them louder. And soon, whether he liked it or not, everything was about to come out. The weekend was getting closer, and so was the moment that would change our relationship forever. Stay with me, because this is just the beginning. The house felt unusually quiet the morning after I posted my story online. Not peaceful, just heavy. Mark had already left for work, barely saying goodbye. I stood by the window watching his car disappear down the street, my cast resting awkwardly against my side. My mind replayed the words I had read the night before, over and over again. You're not asking for too much. You're asking the wrong person. Those sentences stayed with me as I got the kids ready for school. Every small task reminded me how limited I still was. Buttons took forever. Shoes were a struggle. My patience was thinner than usual. By mid-morning, I was exhausted, and the day had barely started. I tried to sit down to work on my business invoices, but the puppy started barking, needing to go outside. I sighed, grabbed the leash with my good hand, and slowly made my way to the yard. As I stood there watching him sniff around happily, something inside me snapped. This isn't fair, I thought. Not to me, not to the kids, not to this version of myself that felt stretched to the breaking point. That afternoon, Mark texted me. Just a reminder, leaving early Saturday, back late. I stared at the message for a long time. No, how are you? No, do you need anything? just logistics. I didn't reply. When he came home that evening, the tension between us was impossible to ignore. We moved around each other like strangers sharing the same space. At dinner, the kids chatted about school while Mark scrolled on his phone. I watched him quietly, noticing how relaxed he looked, how untouched by stress. After the kids went to bed, I finally spoke. "Mark, we need to talk." He looked up, immediately defensive. "About what?" I took a deep breath. "About everything." I told him how overwhelmed I felt. How lonely, how unsupported, how every weekend he left felt like another message that my needs came last. He crossed his arms. "I work hard all week. I'm allowed to have hobbies." "I know," I said calmly, "but so do I. And right now, I can't even rest." He shook his head. "You're making this bigger than it is." That hurt. Because to me, it was everything. "I broke my arm," I reminded him. "I didn't break my ability to feel." For a moment, he didn't say anything. Then he sighed and stood up. "I don't want to argue," he said. "Let's talk later." And just like that, the conversation ended. That night, I barely slept. My mind raced with questions I was afraid to answer. Was I asking too much? Had our roles become so unbalanced that he couldn't even see it? Or worse, did he see it and just not care? Saturday arrived faster than I expected. Before sunrise, I heard Mark getting ready. He moved quietly, trying not to wake anyone. But I was already awake, staring at the ceiling. He leaned down and kissed my forehead. "See you later." I didn't respond. The door closed, and the silence returned. A deep, aching silence. The day was long. The kids argued. The puppy had accidents. My arm throbbed by noon. At one point, I sat on the kitchen floor and cried. Not loudly, just enough to let the pressure out. That afternoon, my sister Emma stopped by unexpectedly. She took one look at me and knew something was wrong. "Where's Mark?" she asked. "Hiking," I replied flatly. Her eyebrows shot up. "Again?" I nodded. She helped with the kids, cooked dinner, and listened as I finally said everything out loud. All the things I had been holding in. "You can't keep doing this alone," she said gently. "You deserve support." That evening, after the kids were asleep, I checked my phone. No message from Mark. He came home late, sunburned and smiling, talking excitedly about the trip. I listened quietly. When he finished, I said, "We need to make changes." He laughed softly. "You're still upset about this?" "Yes," I said firmly. "And I will be until something changes." For the first time, he looked unsure. Like he realized this wasn't going away. The next few days were tense. Short conversations, awkward silences, unfinished apologies. Then something unexpected happened. Mark's mother called me. She had heard from Emma and wanted to check in. When I told her everything, she was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "That's not how I raised him?" That weekend, she invited Mark over, alone. I don't know what she said to him, but when he came back, he was different, quieter, thoughtful, less defensive. That night, he sat beside me and said, "I didn't realize how much I was leaving you with." I looked at him, unsure if I could believe it yet. "I need actions, not words," I said. He nodded. "I know." The following weekend, he canceled his plans. He stayed home. He helped with the kids, cleaned the house, took over the dog duties, let me rest. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Still, trust doesn't rebuild overnight. And deep down, I knew one good weekend wouldn't erase weeks of neglect. Something bigger was coming, a final test, a moment that would decide whether this marriage could truly heal or not. And that moment came sooner than I ever expected. Everything seemed calmer on the surface after that weekend Mark stayed home. Almost too calm. He was trying. At least that's what it looked like. He woke up earlier, packed the kids' lunches, even learned how to properly clip the puppy's leash without tangling it around his legs. Small things, but noticeable. Yet inside me, something was still unsettled. I'd smile, I'd say thank you, but a quiet voice kept whispering, is this real change or just guilt? The following week, my arm finally started feeling better. Not healed, but stronger. I could move it more freely. The cast felt lighter somehow, as if my body sensed the tension lifting, just a little. One evening, while folding laundry together, Mark said casually, "So, my work training got moved." I froze. "Oh? Yeah," he continued. "It's optional now. I was thinking of skipping it." I looked at him carefully. This mattered more than he realized. "That's good," I said slowly. He nodded. "I want to be around more." That night, I let myself feel hopeful for the first time in weeks. I imagined weekends that didn't feel like survival mode. Evenings where we sat together instead of passing each other like coworkers. But life has a way of testing hope. 2 weeks later, my doctor officially cleared me to remove the cast. I walked out of the clinic holding it under my arm, feeling lighter than I had in months. I decided to celebrate by taking the afternoon off. No clients, no errands, just me. When I got home early, the house was empty. Mark's car wasn't there. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe he was running late. Maybe he took the kids somewhere. Then I saw his hiking boots by the door. Missing. My chest tightened. I checked my phone. No messages, no calls. I waited. An hour passed. Then 2. Finally, a text came through. Went out with the guys for a quick walk. Back later. A quick walk. I sat down slowly on the couch, the old ache returning, this time in my chest instead of my arm. He hadn't asked. He hadn't told me. He'd just gone. When he came home that evening, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I didn't accuse. I simply said, "We need to talk. For real this time." He looked tired. "Can it wait?" "No," I said quietly. "It can't." We sat at the kitchen table, the same place where I'd stirred soup with one hand weeks earlier. It felt symbolic somehow. I told him everything, how scared I'd been when I got hurt, how abandoned I felt when he kept choosing everything else, how even now I couldn't trust that he'd be there when things got hard again. "I don't want to live like this," I said, "feeling like I'm on my own unless I'm physically broken enough to deserve your attention." He stared at the table, silent. "I don't think you're a bad person," I continued. "But you stopped being a partner." That's when his face changed. Not defensive, not annoyed, just honest. "I didn't realize how selfish I'd become," he said softly. "I thought providing was enough." I shook my head. I needed presence, not promises. There was a long pause. The kind that stretches until it either breaks something or fixes it. Finally, he said, "What if I don't change enough?" The question surprised me because it was the first time he'd admitted the possibility. "Then I'll have to change," I replied. "For myself." That night, we didn't magically fix everything. But we made a plan, shared calendars, clear expectations, actual conversations before decisions. More importantly, we agreed on something deeper. No more assuming the other person would just handle it. Weeks passed. Mark kept his word. He asked before making plans. He stayed home more. He showed up, not just physically but emotionally. I started taking time for myself again. Short walks, quiet mornings, even coffee with friends. The house felt different, lighter, more balanced. One evening, months later, as we watched the kids play with the dog in the yard, Mark said, "I almost lost you, didn't I?" I nodded. "Yes, but not the way you think." He looked at me. "You almost lost the version of me that kept trying alone," Heidi said. "And once that version disappears, it doesn't come back." He reached for my hand and held it tightly. This time, I didn't pull away. Now looking back, I realized something important. Pain doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it shows up quietly through exhaustion, resentment, and unmet needs. And love isn't about grand gestures or weekend plans. It's about noticing when the person beside you is struggling and choosing to stay. The moral of this story is simple but powerful. A relationship isn't tested when life is easy. It's revealed when someone gets hurt. If you take anything from this, let it be this. Never ignore the quiet cries of someone who's always been strong for you, because one day they might stop crying and start walking away. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.